Kansas City, you've been lovely, but it's time to go to Denver. Now, of all the 20 plus places I'm traveling over the next 6 weeks, Denver has been the one I have most been looking forward to. You see, about 4 years back, I actually lived in Denver and went to school there for a very short amount of time. However, it was probably the most important 6 months of my life. You see, while living in Denver, I went to some place called Colorado Film School. It's this little tiny film school out of Colorado, and it's the only film school I ever attended, and it dramatically changed the course of my life. Now, of course, I wanted to be a filmmaker before I went to film school. That's why I went to film school. But it was a very pivotal moment. It fundamentally changed what I want to be, and I haven't been back there in the 4 years since I lived there. And I'm excited. Now, am I perhaps giving my hopes up for something that's just going to be fine? Maybe, but there's something very magical about Denver when I lived there. It's just a very important period of my life, and so going back, kind of reflecting, especially right before I make my first feature, there's something magical about it almost. I'm really excited. I am somewhere in the middle of Kansas. It's super pretty out here, especially in the summer because it's green and there's cows and sheep. It's really pretty. And as I was pulling into this gas station place to get gas, I got this close to hitting a dog. Now, luckily, it didn't hit the dog, but it ran out into the street and I slammed on the brakes. It was pretty intense. I am in Colby, Kansas. It's basically the last town, although I don't know if I'd call it that. It's basically the last stop before just hundreds of miles of desolate nothingness. So I stopped here because I have a meeting soon. I have to be on Zoom. I thought it would be like an actual Starbucks. It's in a gas station, which isn't great. But I don't really have a whole lot of other options. But I don't really mean I have any other options. I have to have Wi-Fi. I have to be on my computer, so I can't do it while I drive. This is basically it. There's nothing for the next 100 miles, so it's just gonna have to do. So it turns out the Starbucks is an actual Starbucks. I'm at something called an Oasis. In Chicago, they're above the highways, but here they're just off the side of the road. There's a bunch of restaurants in here, which I'm not really all that interested in, but the Starbucks is a real Starbucks with Wi-Fi and everything. So I'm working here, and it's better than working in my car. I can work in my car. I've definitely done it before, but if I don't have to, I never will. Andrew, on the other hand, he works in his car all the time. In fact, he purposely chooses to work in his car. Now, why anyone would ever want to do that, I don't know. I like Emily's car. It's a very nice car, but to work in it, that's just not for me. I just spent the last 3 hours sitting inside of a Starbucks on Zoom meetings. Did not like sitting there for that long, especially because I've been sitting in my car all day. But all the Zoom meetings went really well, so now it's time to go to Denver. It is just about 10 p.m. I finally got to my Airbnb here in Denver. It's weird. Now, don't get me wrong, the Airbnb is absolutely beautiful. It's in a wonderful location, and it seems like a really nice place. But being here exactly 4 years after the last time I was here, at the beginning of my college career, and now graduating from college, it's a weird experience. But I think what's possibly even weirder than the fact that I was a beginning student then, and now I'm finishing school now, is back then, all I wanted to do was make movies. It was my dream to make movies. And now that I'm coming back, I'm making my first feature. All of the feelings, all of the love and joy and nostalgia and things I just can't describe, they just came washing back, and it's a lot to handle. Now, luckily I made the decision to stay another night here because I want to go visit some friends and I want to go reminisce a bit. Even though, again, it was only 4 years ago since I've been here. It's just coming to Denver was the biggest decision I had ever made. I had gone to film school at NYU, but I didn't actually take any film classes. The decision to come here, a place that's just a film school and nothing else, was a big risk, and I was terrified. And it sort of worked. Now, obviously, I'm not a big, successful filmmaker yet, but it's just a lot of things going on right now. To come here wanting to be a filmmaker and come back being this close to actually being one, it's just a lot.